Hi, welcome to the Destin Business Forum, brought to you by the Destin Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Amy Perry, and our guest today is the current chairman of our board of directors, Miss Marianne Wines. She is also the broker-owner of Real Estate Professionals of Destin, Inc., and you have a lot of initials behind your name, and I'm going to ask you about that later because it would take the rest of our time to say all those. I'm sure they mean something very important. Welcome, Marianne.
Hey, thanks, Amy. Thanks.
You look pretty in purple.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here today.
All right, let's talk about some business. Where's your real estate office located?
We're on the Destin Harbor. We're half a mile east of the Destin Bridge at the Destin Fishing Fleet Marina, which is where the Fisherman's Wharf restaurant is. I share a parking lot with the Fisherman's Wharf.
So it's not very pretty where you work, right?
Yeah, I have to look at the boats and the birds and everything all day, yeah.
I knew I felt sorry for you for some reason. That's just so sad. All right, let's talk a little bit about the company name. It has the word Destin in it.
Of course.
Is that an advantage, or?
I think so, yes. Well, I specialize in Destin. I've lived here my entire life, and so Destin is who I am.
But you work in other areas as well,
we do,
right?
Yeah, we work in South Walton, we work in Fort Walton and Niceville. Actually, I've even gone as far as Freeport for a couple of my deals.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And do you have a specialty, would you say?
Well, because I'm more of a local and because my company is strictly sales, I focus more on listings. I've got an accounting degree, and so I'm very structured, and so
that explains
So
it.
I do well with listings. That's my forte. But it's really working with the local people and helping people get their homes sold. And I also do commercial as well as residential.
How'd you get started in real estate?
Well, I have a hero, and he died this past year, I'm sorry to say, but his name was John Brooks, and he had John W. Brooks Realty. And I can remember sitting at the Palm Theater, and he had an ad on the Palm Theater, and it said "A World of Real Estate." And he was our first,
that's
he was our first
neat.
movie star, and he was my mentor. I loved him dearly.
So that's what got you interested?
I always wanted to grow up and be like Mr. Brooks.
Aw. Okay, so you own your company. How long have you owned it?
For 19 years.
Okay, and how long have you been in this area? I know the answer to that question. But
my whole life, for 52 years.
Oh, you didn't have to say that. I would have, for 32 years. We're going to back that up and say for 32 years. All right, I'm going to read this question because I want to get everything in.
Sure.
Things like integrity, level of service, reputation, that's the best way to, I would think, to select a real estate agent. And I wrote down from the back of your business card some words I want to ask you about. It says, the sale or purchase of real estate may be one of the biggest, most important transactions in your life. You'll be spending thousands of dollars, so you owe it to yourself and to your family to know that the realtor you select has the best qualifications, credentials, and experience in your market area. I think that's all true, but what if I don't know that about my real estate agent? How do I find that out?
Well, if a real estate agent has designations, we're going to advertise them. And designations, you can't get them unless you have a lot of volume and a lot of education. And so that's knowledge and experience. And that's what you want in a real estate agent is knowledge and experience.
Sure.
So you look for designations. If your agent has the designations, for example, the CCIM designation is the top. There's only a few of us in this area that even have the CCIM designation, and then the CRS designation is really means the highest credentials for residential real estate.
So we're getting to all those initials behind your name that I said I was going to find out. The first one that I've written down is CCIM. You mentioned that. What does that mean?
That is a Certified Commercial Investment Member, and there's only several thousand of those in the entire country. I actually had to travel all over the country to get that designation. It's very expensive and very hard. The information is like drinking. I liken it to drinking from a fire hydrant. It's that much information that fast. You go to this city, you fly in, you go to the hotel. The room is usually in that same hotel, and you don't see that city
at all.
You go to class all day, you study all night. It's that tough of a. It's not a breeze. It's not a piece of cake by any. And that's why so few people have the CCIM
Very
designation.
intensive. You mentioned that it was expensive. You don't buy it, but it's expensive because you have to go and study
sure,
and take the
pay
classes.
the plane fare. You pay for your room the week you're there.
Sure.
And then the course is like $1,000 per course.
And you miss business while
you're. And there's
you're
9 to 12 of them that you have to take. So it's very expensive to receive that designation. But the information is incredible.
Okay, all right. Now I'm going to move down the list. CRB. gonna learn a little
CRB is
something
the
today, too.
Certified Residential Brokerage Member. That is for if you own your own company, if you own your own brokerage, that gives you the highest level of integrity and experience to be a broker.
Okay. Next one, CRS.
The Certified Residential Specialist.
Okay.
If anybody ever asks me for a referral, that's who I'm going to look for in another city or another state. If I don't know anybody, say somebody wants to go buy in Dallas, I'm going to make sure, and they want to do residential, I'm going to make sure that they're a CRS before I send them that referral. And we have a very strong referral network within the CRS. That is that's a great designation to have.
Okay, like maybe with doctors and lawyers board certified, possibly, or their specialty area.
Sure.
If you don't know them by word of mouth. Okay, GRI.
GRI means you're a graduate of the Florida Realtor Institute. That is a 3-week designation. So you take, and you can usually get it locally. That is a minimum standard. If your realtor doesn't have at least a GRI, they need to have at least a GRI.
Okay, all right. LMC.
That's a loss mitigation specialist. That's a newer designation because of all the short sales and foreclosures.
Sure.
So if you're going to be working those, you need to know what you're doing. So so some of us who got most of our education a long time ago, we're going back to school now because of all the foreclosures and short sales.
And there are a lot of ins and outs of that. So that's good to know that
Very
there's
tricky. Yes.
A designation for that. All right, RRS.
That is the Recreation and Resort Specialist, and that's because we live in Destin.
Sure.
And it's good to know, you live here all your life, you kind of know the stuff, but you learn the business side of it.
Right.
So that's because of where we live.
So you have that. Okay, and then ePro.
That's an internet technology professional, and your next guest will be appreciative of that. If you're in real estate, it's not just as much face-to-face. We do a lot of things on the internet, and you've got to be able to do a lot of social media. So
and you can take a class in that. That's amazing.
Sure. So the ePro gets us there.
So all of these designations, I would think that somebody would put that on their card or on their website to let you know.
You're always going to know, and so that's how you know how to select a real estate agent.
Okay.
If they have those, they're going to advertise them because we worked hard to get those.
Sure.
And I've got several other designations behind my name that I don't advertise because they were just a course that I took, and it really doesn't mean anything to me.
And your card would have to be about this big, right?
Exactly.
Put all those on there. All right, let's talk about kind of the business side of it for the customer. What's the cost of a real estate agent?
Well, usually the brokerage is who's going to set the brokerage fee. The broker will. So a real estate agent doesn't really have that. Doesn't make that decision.
Okay.
They're going to do what their broker tells them to do.
Okay.
So when you get a real estate agent, because all those costs are already pre-negotiated between the seller and the buyer doesn't pay a real estate fee, that's paid for by the seller again.
Okay.
So really, when you get to pick your real estate agent, it doesn't matter if you pick the ones with the most designations or with the fewest. If you picked the ones with the most experience or the ones who just got their real estate license, it's going to cost you the same.
You mean it doesn't matter in terms of cost?
In terms of cost, it doesn't matter, yeah. Okay. So, it's kind of like, who do you want handling your real estate needs? It's going to be the biggest transaction of your life.
Sure.
Who do you want to do that? So.
And I would think having somebody with experience helps. I know it helped me when I bought and sold some properties because it's stressful. I mean, that's probably the most money that you personally are going to spend.
Well, and you and I just did a commercial deal together, and it was really wonderful working with an attorney because you understood so many of the things that I did. A lot of people don't even appreciate the things that I'm able to do for them.
Right.
But we worked so well together, and I by the way, I do appreciate working that with you.
And it was easy working with you. I mean, I guess that's one way. Besides the designations and stuff, just is it smooth?
Well,
or is it?
I've never had a real estate transaction that was smooth, but I try never to let my customers know that it wasn't smooth. To them, I hear all the time at the end of it, I think, they'll go, "Oh, Marianne, that was just a piece of cake. That was just so easy." And I'm bloodied and battered and going, "Thank you. I'm so glad it was easy for you."
Yes.
But that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take all the hits and make it smooth, and not because it is very scary.
Right.
And so having the education and the experience to handle all those objections and get that done and smooth it out, that's what we do.
Yes, and that just makes it pleasurable. If it can be, that makes at least part of the transaction just a pleasure.
And sometimes we have to tell them what's going on behind the scenes, you know.
Sure.
But it is a little bit like being Oz.
Sure, exactly. That's what I thought. Okay, right now, it seems like the market's coming back a little bit. What if somebody's on the fence? They don't know whether they should buy, they've been looking at a property, or on the other hand, they don't know if they should sell. Is that a decision that you would help somebody with?
I have people come in all the time, and I will talk them out of doing things, even though it means money for me. It doesn't cost anything to make an appointment and come in and sit down and talk to me. Because this is what I do for a living, I can tell you if you're making a mistake now, and I spend the time to get to know the person that I'm talking with, and I'll ask them and I'm very direct. I mean, you know me, I'm very direct, and I'll ask those personal questions, not because I'm nosy, but because I need to know in order to help you make the best decision.
Right.
We offer some other things. I mean, not only does it not cost anything to come in and talk to me and find out what you should be doing, but you know, if you want to find out what your home is worth, we offer a free comparative market analysis. If you want to see what's available on the market, we offer free daily updates of new properties as they come on the market. If you want to see what your payments are going to be, we offer a free loan amortization calculation. And to discuss your options, as I've already said before, we offer free consultation without obligation.
And that is so helpful to people, I would imagine. Okay, I'm almost out of time. I know you work in residential and commercial. And then you're married to somebody I know. What is his name?
I'm married to Captain Kelly Wines, and he runs the Charter Boat Sunrise, and he and I have several businesses together. And Kelly is also one of our county commissioners. And we've been married for 29 years. We have 2 wonderful children. And
do you see each other very often now, since you're running in this direction and he's running in the other?
We do. We share an office over there on the harbor. So yeah.
So that makes it nice. Marian, I have a couple of other questions that I didn't get to ask you, but you will come back, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And thank you for the job that you're doing for our chamber. As a chairman, I think you're together, you run a tight ship, and everybody just kind of falls in line behind you.
It's my honor to give back. I appreciate it. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you. We'll be back.